everybody. I am Kate Caravella with Breaking Forward Coaching, one of the co-founders and the principals. And I'm delighted today to introduce a good friend and colleague, Ms. Sarah Regal, who is an amazing therapist and business owner down in Palm Harbor, Florida. And she'll be joining us today and letting us, I'm going to be asking Sarah some questions just about how she developed her current idea of her current practice, which is so amazing, and how she got there, what's some of the maybe the challenges or the stumbles she's had. And then really more importantly, what I'd like to know is how she handles this two young children and marriage and new business thing. So Sarah, welcome and thank you for joining us. I really, really appreciate it. How are you?
Good, good, good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited that you are here. So Sarah, if you would tell us a little bit about Gracework Wellnesses and how you got there. I mean, because that isn't how you started. So
Yeah, sure. So Graceworks Wellness is really the vision and the goal is for it to be a complete wellness center geared towards mental emotional health. um, which obviously includes therapy and psychiatric services, but some other additional services too. So how it kind of became about was that growing up, like many of us, I had some struggles in childhood with the family stuff, and I gravitated towards sports and athletics, and that was always for me a very safe space. It gave me something to focus on, a place to find a passion, and just some belonging. And so that's always been a pretty strong thread in my life is just physical exercise and movement. Fast forward, I continued to be an athlete all through high school and college, and then into adulthood. I Nothing organized, but kept busy with moving and things like that in various ways. So, um, naturally, in my therapy with clients, I would bring that up in conversation. I would ask them about, what does their diet look like, their exercise, their sleep, and social life, and spiritual life, and all the pieces. And what I found is that, when I would encourage them to check out a yoga class or maybe join a run club or go for a bike ride or play tennis or something like that, they would be very open and receptive to it. But then, like, the roadblocks came in, right? Like, well, where
so
do
the
I go?
execution, the
The
ex
what?
the execution of
Execution.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Because new things are scary, right? And so they wouldn't know where to go. They wouldn't know who to go with. They didn't know anybody. What do I wear? What do I look like? I don't want to look like an idiot. Like all the things that we feel when we try new things that, we don't know if we're good at yet or not. And so the thinking was, well, how great would it be to just have one place where I could walk them down the hall and say like, oh, hey, this is Jessica, our yoga instructor. Why don't you check out one of her classes? Or, hey, the run club meets here, every Tuesday and just show up here and we'll go for a walk or see how it goes. Or just make that more accessible to people,
Okay.
so that we could remove some of those roadblocks. And so that is how it started. And then the ideas just continued to grow, right? Because then you realize that, gardening is really therapeutic. So, okay, what if we had a garden club or, a garden outside that clients could go and garden in, or all the things. The sky's endless with what is beneficial and helpful for us in our mental, emotional healing and growth. So,
And so I remember one time we were you had I think you said it to me jokingly, and I think I may have taken it very seriously about a cat room. Playing
oh
with
yeah,
a playing with cats room.
it wasn't really a joke.
Because I could yeah, I think you know that I could get you some cats. That's
Yes. Yeah, well, you're my go-to cat lady if I ever need them. And I think it would be awesome, right? Like we went to a I took my kids to a cat cafe once, and that was awesome. We just sat and played with cats, and
that's very therapeutic.
it's
Well,
very
I think
therapeutic.
so. What I'm hearing you say too, though, right? And I know just from a business model, the idea of the more you can offer in house, and the more you can remove obstacles and awkwardness, and remove the challenges with the execution of things.
Right.
And so, are you finding that people like your clients or people who are who you're working with, they're understanding how important movement and hobbies and recreational things are to their overall process and journey of healing and mental health and emotional health.
Yes, I think that s- some people, of course, are very quick to jump in and say, like, yes, no, I get it and I love it and I'll do it. Some people are a little more hesitant, right? Like maybe somebody like you, Kate, who
Wait, what do you mean? You want me to do movement? Look, I'm moving right now. I don't need to do more movement.
watch me move.
I'm moving all kinds of movement. Yes.
Um, but maybe are a little more hesitant, right? Or just it's not their style, it's not their vibe, and that's okay too, right? So what else could we offer? What else can we bring that maybe is more their vibe, is their style, that they can find is their place to be, and maybe at some point that does include movement or something else, but
Cats.
so it's cats, and then you have to chase the cat. So then you're like, oh, okay, maybe moving is good. So
I've just lost a whole pound. I chased the cat.
right, exactly.
Feeling really good about my mental health now. Well, Sarah, so this is this entrepreneurial spirit of
Yeah.
yours, which you clearly have, right? I mean, it's not the just like, hey, this is what I'd like to do. It's like you're building it, you're open to it. Is that kind of like just naturally part of who you are, how you're built, or have other people in your life been that way and you've admired that, or how has this kind of come to be?
Um, I think it is definitely there. It's just there's a lot of natural kind of God-given how I got created in this world. I also think that with being in sports and athletics, it kind of continues to push my threshold of difficulty, which then expands my ability, I think, to continue to do hard things and stick with it. So yeah, I mean, I think that there's just been a lot of, for sure, people have been mentors to me, and I've gotten to partner alongside people and or shadow people, you included, who have created, built, and grown businesses, really great businesses. And those people continue to, have a reflection in my life for sure, and in this business as
Mhm.
well. God has created or has surrounded me by a lot of really wonderful people. And so that makes the process a lot easier for sure.
What about some challenges? Have you experienced like external or internal barriers to creating what you've created and what you want to create?
Yeah, absolutely. I think externally, there's so many, right? Like fear alone of is this going to succeed? Can I do this? Will people want this? How do we find the people? All the things. There's so many barriers to that you kind of have to just stay the course and push through and say like we'll see what happens. I think internally, that fear creeps up, the unknown creeps up, the doubt creeps up, the tired, feeling tired.
The tired.
Um,
Might be a good way, which might be a good time to shift segue right into this takes time. Like building a successful business and staying in that spirit of entrepreneurship and really kind of like working towards that takes time and a lot of
absolutely.
energy and flexibility and all of that. And you have two children and a husband and a really cool cat and
Thank
and a
you.
dog.
And a dog.
And so how do you how I mean so and I know like a lot of the people that we work with that we coach who are professionals in the field, that seems to be, sort of this continual
Yeah.
challenge for most people is just where do we find the time? How are we doing it? Like and what has been key for you? Or what has been very helpful to you, would you say, in that regard?
A supportive family for sure. I would not be able to do this without the support of my husband and my kids and friends and family. Absolutely. And in addition to that, I think, you say like finding the time. I think part of it is that we never find the time. There is no time to be found, right? Like we can always fill the
Borrowing.
time. Yes.
Yes.
So I think it's really about how do we make the time? How do we prioritize the time? How do we kind of send ourselves that message that this is a non-negotiable, that this has to get done, whatever the this is, right? This meeting or this time spent growing or this time exercising, because I know that improves my mental emotional health and capability of continuing forward. So I think it's really slowing down and giving yourself the that internal dialogue of what are my priorities today and what do I have to make time to do that are non-negotiables for me today, and then kind of fill in the blanks around that.
So it's not about like creating time. It's about essentially hierarchying it. Like what is right. Like if your daughter say had a dance recital,
Yep.
that's your non-negotiable. Like no matter what else, that is what I do. And then
Yes,
if you have a big like a large business meeting or a presentation, it's like that for that week is that's your non-negotiable.
absolutely.
So how do you fill in the like okay, so how do you do things like clean your cat litter and take your cat to vet and see your friends every now and again or I like go on a date with your husband? How does that work?
And I think
I'm
sometimes, right? You
gonna write this down just so that
right, yeah.
so I can
I,
take notes.
I think sometimes it's about getting good at I don't want to say failing, but like getting good at falling short too, right? Like being okay with knowing that we're not superhuman as much as we want to be and try to be, and even if we have it planned out just right to be able to do it all, something falls, right? The domino falls and then it all comes crashing down. Then you realize, like, oh, I'm dropping
How do
those blocks today. So I think part of it is like you never aim to not do what you set out to do, but also letting yourself be flexible and giving yourself grace that
I was just gonna say that. I mean, it seems like it's the kind of thing that just really requires grace.
yeah, yeah, like you're not going to do it perfectly, right? And
Right.
you're gonna go 2 or 3 days and your cat's gonna be really mad at you because they have a dirty litter box, or you find 20 minutes to walk the dog and talk to your husband, and that's your little date for the week. Or not that those things aren't crazy important and we have to find time to prioritize those or make the time to prioritize those too, but sometimes it's not, and we just have to be flexible with what it is.
I like that a lot, and I'll tell you, one of the things that came at me as you were saying this was how often when we don't approach it that way, right? We're trying to do all these things perfectly, and to your point, you can't do it like you're a human being. We can't do every single thing perfectly, and prioritizing, but having that ability to be aware of
Yeah.
what we need to prioritize, right? Because as opposed to waiting till crisis point, right? Like waiting
Yeah.
to the point where it's like, wow, I haven't seen my husband like literally like 4 months. I wonder if he's still like that's not good for for a marriage,
Right.
right? That is not healthy for a relationship because then it touches on everything.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that that's a good point. Yeah, we have to, like, what can we keep at the forefront, but also recognize that those big pieces are going to be moving, right? And are going to like sometimes be really big and sometimes not be so big, and things are going to shift around, and just staying in the flow of that instead of getting too bogged down on it going just exactly the way that we thought it was going to go or needs to go or should go. But so the awareness, absolutely.
So I know that you've been adding to Graceworks, and I know that you've been like actively you've assembled a really really great team. I met Sarah, who she's fantastic. I'm really excited about working with her as well. How so with the additions, I would imagine that takes more time and more energy and more so how has that been for you? I mean, has that been okay, or has it been a little exhausting, or have you given up a little bit more sleep than you'd like, or missed a run that you wanted to go on, maybe?
All of that.
All of okay,
Yes, all
okay.
of that actually. You're like, especially this week has been a really good week for doing all that or missing all that. Um, yeah, with the growth, it's super positive and exactly where we want to be heading and doing, but it comes with, yeah, staying up later than everybody else in my family and getting up earlier than everybody else in my family. And I have missed a couple runs or had to go on a short one instead of the long one that I had planned on going. yeah, just trying to figure out how to get in what I can get in, but recognizing that right now that's the priority and
Mhm.
that needs to stay the priority because then that leads to the long-term goals that we're really trying to get to both professionally and personally. So trying to
But
keep
that,
the big picture view, I think.
I think the big picture piece of it is honestly the most like critical part of this because like if we lose sight of the big picture, we can get so to your point like so bogged down into the minutia of things, and that's where our fears and our anxieties and our tiredness could all creep into, right? It's
Absolutely.
so a lot of times I can't even tell you how many breaking forward coaching clients we have who this is their exact thing. They love their career, or maybe they don't love their career, they want a different career, but they're actively working towards that.
Yeah.
And it's all great, but then they're also like their mom is sick and they have to take their mom to the doctor's appointment, and like and then their kids getting suspended for smoking pot in school. Like there's all kinds of things that go on in life,
Life,
right?
right?
And
Life,
like,
lights.
but
Yeah.
and so it's like it doesn't matter how good we want to be at a certain thing. Sometimes things are not going to be as front and center. So keeping with that big picture, and I think would that be our sort of like our ending message that how important the keeping the big picture is?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think we have to because that's part of that staying flexible too. I
Mhm.
think, that if we have this big picture, then it's okay. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Then if we have this big picture, then it's okay if we are trailing down this trail right now or
Mhm.
trailing down this trail right now. Both of us are doing work in the big picture. But this one maybe is a little more accessible in my personal life, so I'm going to take that one. Or I have more time in my personal life, so I can focus down this trail right now. But both of them are heading me into the bigger picture.
Right. Right, right,
Trying
right.
to stay flexible with and fluid with that. The big picture is the end game and the end goal, and as long as we're working towards it. So I have been training for the past almost year now to I got involved in doing triathlons a couple years ago.
Mhm.
It's kind of my go-to passion for the past couple years that's kept me moving. And I decided about a year ago that I wanted to do the big dog and compete in an Ironman. So I've been training to do that. It is coming up, not this coming weekend, but next weekend. And so a lot of my focus has been on that. But one of the things
Mhm.
that I'm involved in a coaching group for it, and one of the things that the coach says is that, when you're doing an Ironman, it's not about how fast you go, it's about how little you slow down. So
Ooh.
so good, right? Like so instead of worrying about like, how do I get my pace faster? It's looking at how do I clear it so that I keep moving forward no matter what that pace is, but I just reduce the amount of times I'm slowing down and I'm stopping and I'm shifting direction, but I just kind of keep it moving forward. And I think that's so applicable to life,
Absolutely.
this
Yeah.
into building and
Keep it
creating something.
keep it moving forward. Right. It doesn't matter the
And
pace.
as long as you're doing
That's
that,
yeah.
you're
It
heading
doesn't
towards,
have to even look pretty, right? It just needs to sustain.
yeah, yeah.
Like it. Sarah, thank you so much for taking this time. Like, right, speaking of the time, like I know this is like the last thing you really had time for, so I very very much appreciate it. And I will make sure that this is going to be going on all our socials and on our YouTube, and I'll make sure that I put the link for Graceworks Wellness in there as well, so people you could all like look and see what she has to offer. I would highly recommend it. Sarah, thank you again. I really appreciate this.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, Kate. As always, it's such a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you. Thank you. See ya. Bye.